Hey everyone, welcome to the video. I'm gonna do a real quick update here on Chainlink. And yeah, so I guess before I get started, this isn't financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades. Do your own research, and let's go ahead and take a look at things. All right, so if you take a look at the video from yesterday, which was October 25th, scroll forward to about 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and that's when I put this P&L on here. So let me just outline what I said because it was perfect again. So I was focusing here around this trend line, which was kind of descending, and I said I'd like to close like an hourly candle above it. And then I want to see us come up above this $2.80 mark, wait to come back down, retest at a support, give yourself a decent amount of stop loss, and close the trade at $2.95. All right, so if you were risky and you bought here, then you were able to exit that trade. If you were looking for that support resistance flip here at about 278, you still made that trade. So I mean, that was two different times that trade could have been made, and we didn't come anywhere close to the stop loss that we had down here. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and remove this just so that we can, declutter things. But this is just, another case of, support resistance flips and looking for the next area of resistance, which was this last area. And the interesting thing about this is we did wick through it twice. So that's real interesting as well. And as far as candle closures go, the first time we pushed up to $3, we closed down here about $2.90. The second time we wicked up, we didn't go quite so high. We almost hit $3 on that second one. The first time we did kind of break through it. The second time we had, a little bit of a rejection there, but the candle closure was a little bit higher. So that's something also to take a look at with a grain of salt. But what I'm seeing here, this formation that we have here that I was kind of referring to as sort of a rising wedge, kind of a bearish indicator, as far as market geometry goes. Let's move down to maybe a 30-minute time frame. I was drawing this out right here where this green arrow was. So, we can see that things did kind of resolve a little bit differently, but nonetheless, we did have a little bit of a spring down here at this trend line, which on higher time frames is a little more supportive, but we sprung right there at about 262. So, as far as important support and resistance levels, at least for Chainlink, I would say $2.68. Again, back up here to 272, which we really haven't retested since we've been closing, up in this area. We've been consolidating up here. Something that I would say is if you're looking to get into a trade, I would be very skeptical of this level right here. So I'm actually going to remove this trend line, or sorry, this support level that we have here about 278, and I'm going to say 275 is going to be the important level that we need to keep. One thing that I'm not a real big fan of is how we have kind of a flat bottom going on here at this level. And if you don't take into account this, so again, if I move to a slightly higher time frame, let's say I move to like maybe an hourly, the hourly doesn't show it, the 2-hour does. This right here, which can be seen as a little bit of a descending wedge. This is also bearish, so I do have to keep things into perspective on a 2-hour, and I would imagine especially a 4-hour time frame. Big rejection wicks that we have up here in this zone, so I'd be very careful taking any further trades up here. I say this over and over again. It probably sound like a broken record, but I do want to see, and this was the trade yesterday, and the trade worked out, right? I want to see a break up above this, and I want to see us retest 295. So I want to see us closing hourly candles above 295 for this to be for this to be a good trade, for us to, kind of expect that move up here to 308, things we talked about yesterday, 365, $4, and finally that that slingshot dreamer scenario that we go up to $4.60, which would indicate that this 3 is all the way up here, and then we're going to be coming down for a 4, potentially down to about 350, and then that 5 is going to be what's going to be taking us, even higher. I don't want to get extremely bullish on Chainlink right now, even though there is there is good stuff that is happening, at least on the charts. But yeah, that wave 3 target is going to be our double top, which would then have us putting in some kind of a pullback, which would be our handle, right? So if you enjoy the cup and handle memes, if we are going to get this wave 3 up here at this target, really we are creating a very nice cup here. While this could be seen as a little bit of a handle, we're still kind of moving up, but if we can get up here, then we're going to be looking for the handle to bring us down to our wave 4, which will then eventually slingshot us, up higher to where everybody's expecting, up on wave 5. But a lot has to happen between now and then, so we just have to, take things one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. Right now, things look like they could be moving down. But if we can break up out of this wedge, if we can start closing hourly candles, and you can see as time goes by, this is looking, lower and lower. But if we can start closing hourly candles above 281 to 285, I would expect that we retest $3. But if we can close an hourly above 295, and then come back down and retest 295 as support, then I do think we have that potential to make our next leg up. So lots happening here, right? So there's a lot going on, and actually, my gut is telling me that we will go up, but it would not surprise me for us to come back down here to like 272, 275, which we're at 277, 278 right now. So in the grand scheme of things, we're only talking pennies, but just depends on how much you're willing to put in. I'm not interested in putting together a trade opportunity right now for us. Again, for me to buy, I want us to see us go above 295, close an hourly above 295, and maybe spend a couple hours in this area and then retest 295, and then for that next move up. But I do think that we're going to get a move up and then come down to retest and then move up again. For that would be the correct trade setup there. Right now, from this being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this pullback here, it does look like we could be in the midst of a 4 and then moving up for that 5. That would be, the start of our wave 3, and then to be doing another correction down here. So if we take a measurement of this right here, this takes us up to approximately 315, and then for us to retest down here 295 would be ideal. But again, a lot has to happen. What I do want to pay attention to here, let me move to a 4-hour time frame. I think I was just taking a look at something else. What I want to pay attention to, and I feel like I need to get this on a different, let me see if there's another exchange where I can do this on. I guess I can do it against USDC if there's enough history. Okay, all right, so let's take a look from the top down here to the bottom. No, I'm not saying Chainlink's going back to 75 cents. Okay, I'm not going to say that right now. But we are approaching the 618 here on the larger scale, so that's at $3.36. We just got rejected yesterday off of the 50%, which again was at $3, and it actually looks like the USDC trading pair kind of, obviously has a little bit less liquidity, so there's more, wicking action on stronger moves. But we got rejected at the 50%. It wouldn't surprise me to get up here to the 618, which is at 336. So these are areas that I'm looking for to find potential resistance. Also, taking a look, I don't tend to pull up these oscillators very often, but on the 3 hour we have bearish divergence on this. So from here we have a higher high, and then down here in the oscillators we have a lower high. So there is a little bit of bearish divergence. So just putting things into perspective, it is possible that that was the temporary high for now, and we're going to continue moving down further. So again, you just have to take these things one day at a time. If you're in it for the long haul, you need to look for these accumulation zones down here, and don't get caught in all of the chop up here. You'd be looking for the bearish divergence play to potentially get out. And actually, I'm looking here on the 12-hour. If I go to a 12-hour time frame, it's even more clear that we have even more bearish divergence. So again, just be very careful protecting your capital. Here's a higher high there, and our red indicator down here is our 12-hour, and we have another lower high on the stochastic on the 12-hour. So, this is one of the reasons why I'm not extremely bullish. It is possible that this bearish divergence is going to take us back down to 230, 250. You just have to kind of wait for it to play out. You have to wait for it to play out. The trade was sell at $3, right? So that was the trade that we discussed yesterday. The trade was to sell at $3. Right now, I'm not recommending a buy on Chainlink right now. Unless we go back above 295, we close above 295, and we come down and we retest 295, right? You can't think to yourself, well, I had 10 Chainlink yesterday, and if I sell at $3 and it goes to 315, well, I only have 9 now. You can't think like that. You have to think, okay, well, I had $30 on that sell yesterday, and when I buy back in, I still have $30. You can't think to yourself that you're losing on your Chainlink holding, right? You take the trade, you preserve your capital, and you make the smart trades. You make the smart trades, and that's how you make money, right? And that's what we're here for. That's why you're on an exchange. Sure, you want to support the project. Sure, you want to support the team, but in reality, you're here to make money. You're not here to give your money to the team. If you were going to do that, you would have participated in the ICO, or you would have participated in fundraising efforts. You wouldn't be participating in exchange trading. You're here to make money, and and to do that the right way, you need to preserve your capital, and that's exactly what I try and preach here. Going back to the Binance trading pair, going back to the 1 hour time frame, we talk about this. This was the trade. You buy down here at 272, you buy down here at 275, and you take the trade and you sell at 295. That was the trade yesterday. That trade executed successfully. Now we're waiting, because right now we look like we might be breaking down. We are testing this support zone at 275. We've done it. This is the third time at this very moment. Right now we are retesting this trend line here at 278, and the important zone to pay attention to is down here at 276. So if we break this, we're likely going to go lower, and I would be looking for this zone down here at about 267 to hold as support. Your last area of defense is going to be down here at 262. But I'm not interested in catching falling knives. I want to see a reaction and then more reclaims of support resistance levels. I know we've got a lot going on in this chart right now, so I kind of apologize for that. And let me just remove all of the garbage down there at the bottom, just a lot of data down there. But yeah, there's no trade here that I see that has high probability for Chainlink right now. Again, unless we break above this trend line, this descending trend line that I have, it's again more clear on the hourly, even more on the 2 and 3 hour, kind of disregarding these candles. When you have a break above that an immediate pull back into the trend line, that's not real good, right? So that's indication of some bearish tendencies. But again, if you took the trade, you would have sold here. Nonetheless, we are trying to break down on Chainlink, so you just have to be very careful. One last thing that I'll say, and I'm a little long on this, so I apologize. One last thing that I'll say is, Bitcoin exploded yesterday, but Chainlink didn't. Chainlink didn't explode. So that's something else that is not very appealing to me personally. My opinion, not appealing to me. Do I enjoy charting Chainlink? Yeah, obviously I do, because I've been doing it every day for the last I don't know what, 5 6 days. I enjoy charting this asset. But right, yeah, look at that. Okay, so we broke through. All right, so obviously we're going to come down here. We're retesting this trend line at this very moment. I want to see it pull back up here for this to be a good move. So you just have to be very careful with these things, because when you see these patterns, these formations, this geometry, this one in particular is bearish, right? Especially when you have the big wicks up at resistance. When you have the wicks at resistance and you're not reclaiming resistance as support, that's bearish. And now we're seeing that right now. So, again, you just have to be very careful. And I'd actually be willing to bet that Bitcoin is probably doing something extreme right now as well, probably doing some stop hunts. Just a guess. I don't have the chart in front of me right now, but nonetheless, we broke down, and Chainlink does look a little bearish to me right now. The 12-hour bearish divergence we were looking at, the 3-hour bearish divergence that we were looking at, both on short and long-term bearish divergence. So you got to be very careful. Take the trade, sell. And I mean, obviously you can't do that now because we're down here, but that trade setup did work out successfully. We were up there at $3. So, if you took that trade, kudos to you. And, again, full disclosure, I do not trade Chainlink except for what I have on my bot account. So I'm doing this just for the pleasure and joy of, benefiting you guys. So, I appreciate you watching the videos, and I'm going to be doing a couple other videos this morning. It's still birthday weekend for me, so I'm just kind of doing a couple smaller market updates, and then I'm going to be mostly absent this weekend as we do various things. So thanks for watching. Thanks for thanks for being so loyal to this channel, and also to the Discord server. If you need an invite code, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you all later. Have a good one.